In the icy embrace of the Alps, a 500-year-old man tells us a story written not in words, but in ink. This is Ötzi the Iceman, and his body bears the oldest known tattoos in human history. But these ancient markings are more than just decorative. They're a window into humanity's timeless relationship with body art. From the sterile needles of modern tattoo parlors to the bone tools of our ancestors, the art of permanent body modification has been with us longer than writing itself. Today, we're going to journey across time and continents to uncover the remarkable history of tattoos. Let's start with Ötzi. Found in 1991 between Austria and Italy, this naturally mummified man carries 61 tattoos on his body. But these aren't the elaborate designs we might expect. Instead, they're simple lines and crosses, primarily located around his joints and lower back, areas where researchers have discovered evidence of degenerative conditions. This suggests something fascinating. These might be among humanity's earliest attempts at medical treatment, similar to modern acupuncture points. Moving from the Alps to the Nile, we find the next chapter in our story. Egyptian mummies from 2000 BCE reveal intricate tattoos that tell tales of faith and status. On the mummy of Amunet, a priestess of the goddess Hathor, we see elegant geometric patterns that marked her as a sacred woman. These weren't just decorations. They were permanent symbols of devotion and power. Cross the oceans to New Zealand, and we find the Maori people whose Tomoko tradition transforms the skin into a living manuscript. Each curve and spiral of these facial tattoos tells a story: your ancestry, your achievements, your place in the community. It's a biography written in skin, where every line has meaning. What's remarkable is how tattooing emerged independently across cultures, from the Arctic to the Amazon. The Ainu people of Japan used tattoos to mark the transition to womanhood. Pacific Islander navigators mapped the stars on their skin. Native American tribes recorded their victories and achievements through tattoos. The methods were as diverse as the meanings. Some used bone needles dipped in soot or natural pigments. Others developed specialized tools, like the Polynesian hand-tapping method that uses a mallet and a tool fitted with sharp teeth. These techniques, refined over generations, produced permanent art that has survived millennia. But tattoo history isn't just about art and tradition. In many societies, tattoos became markers of the outsider. The Romans tattooed criminals and slaves. Medieval Europe saw tattoos as pagan and prohibited them. Yet even in times of persecution, the practice endured, often going underground but never disappearing. The modern revival of tattooing in Western culture came through an unlikely source: maritime exploration. When European sailors encountered tattooed peoples in the South Pacific, they brought the practice back home. By the 19th century, even British royalty was getting tattooed. Sparked by Prince Edward's dragon tattoo acquired during his 1862 visit to Japan. Today, we've come full circle. What began as medicinal marks on Ötzi's joints has evolved into a global art form. Modern tattoo artists use electric machines instead of bone needles, and MRI-safe inks instead of soot. But the fundamental human desire to tell our stories through our skin remains unchanged. The designs we choose today often echo those of our ancestors: protection symbols, status markers, memorials to loved ones, expressions of identity. Even as techniques advance, we're still pursuing the same human need to make our stories permanent, to wear our histories on our skin. Looking back at Ötzi's simple lines, we see more than just the oldest tattoos. We see the beginning of a practice that would span continents and millennia. Every tattoo since, whether a Maori moko or a modern sleeve, is part of this unbroken chain of human expression. In the end, the history of tattoos is the history of us. Our need to belong, to remember, to tell our stories, to mark our achievements, and to make permanent what matters most. From medical treatment to religious devotion, from tribal belonging to personal expression, tattoos have served as our silent historians, marking not just our skin, but our very identity as humans. What started in the Alps with Ötzi continues today in every tattoo parlor around the world. The ancient human desire to make our marks permanent, to wear our stories on our skin, and to connect with something larger than ourselves. Through all the changes in human civilization, through all our technological advances, the simple act of marking our skin remains as relevant today as it was 5,200 years ago. And as long as we have stories to tell, it likely always will.